So next topic is going to be about your demand. So what is demand? Demand is nothing but the desire to buy a commodity. In the previous class, we were been dealing about various aspects, how we used to be doing all the wants to be satisfied with the limited resources. So in this chapter, we are going to be seeing about the demand. So before going to the chapter, we have to know what is demand. So demand is nothing but the desire to buy. So the willingness or to possess a good is called as a desire. For example, when you go to a shop, you see that you are in need of a commodity. So the desire for you to buy a commodity is only a desire, but it is not going to be giving you the 100% satisfaction what you're going to be expecting. It's only a mere desire that you wanted that commodity, the willingness. So mere desire cannot become as a demand. So for an example, you want to buy a book. The book cannot be becoming as your demand. You needed to buy that book. It may be a book or a pen or pencil or any kind of a commodity. So when you are going to be seeing that mere demand does not become your demand. It's only a desire. If I have, it would be nice. That is a desire to want that commodity. So when you are going to be having this demand, you will have to possess three main issues to be fulfilled, namely the desire to buy. The desire is first you should feel that I should buy a commodity. The second main thing, you should have the ability to buy the commodity. So what is that ability is whether I'm having the money in my hand to purchase that X commodity. It might be a book, a pen, a pencil, or any X commodity what you want to buy. So first thing, you have to have a desire to buy. I have to buy. Secondly, the ability to pay the money for the commodity what I'm going to be buying. Third one is the willingness to pay the money for that commodity. So what is the willingness is you decide whether the commodity what you purchase is worth giving that amount of money what you're going to be purchasing. So these three things has to be going hand in hand. Then only you will have the desire to buy that commodity and that will become as your demand. So next you can see you have certain determinants of this demand. So what is that as a human being is you see first for the quality of the good that the consumer is going to be purchasing in the market at a particular price and at a particular period of time. You see whether that commodity what you're going to be buying is within your taste and preferences and the color and the shape and all the different features what you expected. Then only you will possess all these three issues, that is nothing but the desire to buy, the ability to pay, and the willingness to pay the money. So what are the different things first we see is first we see for the price. So as a human nature, you can know that as the price increases, the demand decreases. So when the price goes up, then the demand for that commodity will automatically go down. Why? Because when the price is more, most of the people will not like to buy the commodity. Whereas when the price is going to be less, we tend to buy more commodities. We love to purchase more number of goods and commodities with the limited income. The same thing, as the price decreases, the demand increases. When the price goes down, the demand goes up. When the price goes up, demand goes down. It is in reverse. We are not going to be having almost all the same commodities to be sold in the market at the same price. Different commodities have different variation of prices. Certain prices are going to be reasonable within our budget. Now when we are going to be seeing if it is going to be within our budget, as a human we have the natural tendency that if the price for a commodity is less, we buy more. At the same time, whenever the price is always down, we see even for the quality, whether it is going to be a good quality. That is also going to be one of the reasons to purchase that commodity. The desire whether to buy it or not. They are selling it for a less amount. So I think the quality will not be good. This is also going to be a human tendency to see that the price, it is if it is very less, we tend to buy very less amount of commodities. So willing to pay is also going to be one of the reasons whether to buy it or not. We keep it in option. So the price of the goods. So as the price increases, demand decreases. So price goes up, then the demand goes down. As the price decreases, demand increases. So price goes down, then the demand also goes up. So next you can see the law of demand. So what is the meaning of the law of demand? You can see other things being constant, when the price of the good decreases, its demand increases, and when the price of the commodity increases, its demand decreases. So we were talking about the law of demand. What is demand and what are the different changes in the individual demands and movements in the demand. Just stop with determinants of demand. So first you have to know what is demand, as I told you all. So demand is nothing but a desire to buy. So mere desire does not become as your demand. So this demand has certain features. So what are those determinants? We can see one by one. So the demand for a commodity is affected by various factors. These factors are known as determinants of demand. So what are the determinants of demand? You can see here is price of a good, price of a commodity, any X commodity what you are going to be buying. So there are only four main determinants. The other three what they have been given is not so essential, because this question is important. You may be expected for 2 marks as well as for 4 marks. So this you have to be explaining along with the schedule and diagram also. Yesterday, as we told, the price of the commodities are going to be having variations. So when you are going to be purchasing, so the quantity of a good that the consumer decides to buy depends on the price. So how much of quantity of good you are going to be buying, the price of the good, it is going to be decided by the price of the commodity what you are going to be purchasing. That is going to be the first main determinant. Second is, always as a human nature, we have the tendency of always having a comparison with the commodity. So you always see when we buy a commodity, we have a an attitude of always having a comparative study with the other commodities. We do not go to a shop and purchase only one commodity and pay the money. We always have the tendency to choose the best one or the better one, and then we see whether we have enough of money to pay. That is your income of the consumer. When you are going to be buying, first you see for the price of the commodity, then you see whether you are having the income in your hand to purchase that particular commodity. Thirdly, you see for the substitute and complement goods. That is, you decide, you choose 2 or 3 or 4 goods, and you see which gives you higher level of satisfaction, and that is within your budget. Then you prefer to buy that commodity. So the third thing, the price of the substitute and the complement goods. Fourthly, you can see the taste and preferences. So when you buy a commodity, first you see, you expect a satisfaction from that commodity. Whether that commodity, what you are going to be purchasing, is going to be of good taste. And if it is going to be of your taste, then you prefer to buy that. So any commodity, it might be a good of fruits or vegetables or clothes or any essential things. You see, first you give preference for the commodity. So if that is your taste, then you prefer to pay the money. If you don't have any other expected satisfaction from that commodity, you just opt to buy another commodity. So the taste and preferences should be satisfied by the consumer when you are going to be purchasing that commodity. The taste and preferences of the consumer. So the size of the population, distribution of income, expected change in price. So this can be written in a formula. So the first 4 only we are going to be taking. The remaining 3 is not going to be essential. When you write the formula, you can write in such a way that it is going to be only the 3. So demand function. The demand function can be expressed as a functional relationship between the demand for the commodity and the factor affecting it. So hence the demand function can be written as D is nothing but the demand is equal to function of how the demand is going to be functioning in the market. So how this is going to be having, we can see, first we see for the price of the other good. We have a comparative study with the other commodity. Then we see for the income, whether we are having enough of income to buy that commodity. Suppose your income is too high, your purchasing power will be different. So your income is going to be less, your product, what you're going to be buying, is also going to be within your limit. So first you see for the price of the commodity, whether it is going to be a reasonable price, whether the commodity is going to be giving you satisfaction, the taste, the preference, all this is going to be within your income. Then you purchase that commodity. If you are not getting that satisfaction, you opt for the related commodity. So this is going to be the determinant of demand. As I told you, only these 4 factors you can consider. So price of the good, the price of any good when you are going to be purchasing. So you see, first the price, you have a comparative study with the price of the other good. Other good is the substitute good. So what are substitute goods? A good used instead of another good is called as a substitute good. Complementary good, a good which cannot be used alone. It needs to have a complementary. So 2 commodities together only can be giving you satisfaction. Such a good is called as a complementary good. So you see for the price of the good. Second, you see for the price of the other good. Then you see for the income of the consumer, whether you are having enough of money in your hand. That is the income of that particular consumer if he is having. Then you prefer to have the taste and preferences. If it is not going to be of your taste, your preference to purchase that commodity will be changed. So the taste and preferences of the consumer changes. So next you can see this can be elaborated with an example for each and every determinant. So first, if you take the price. So take an example for the price of the good X. So X, here we can take an example for tomato. So when the price of the tomato, P is going to be the price. As the price increases, demand decreases. So the price goes up, then the demand goes down. So as the price decreases, the demand increases. So price goes down, then the demand goes up. So this is the law of nature, that every consumer, when we want to be purchasing a commodity, first aspect we see for the price. If the price is very less, the demand will be very high, because that's the nature of human being. When it is sold for a lesser amount or it is cheap, your demand for that commodity will be increasing. The same thing, the same commodity, if the price is going to be higher, it goes up, it is increasing, your demand to buy that commodity will go down. You will not love to buy the same commodity because of the price. Suppose you are going to be buying because of your taste and preference, the quantity what you buy will have variation. So you can see this has an inverse relation. So the price increases, demand decreases. So when the price is going up, the demand goes down, and when the price decreases, the demand increases. So this is, you can see here, the price goes down, then the demand is going up. You have an inverse relation. So it is up and down. It is going to be having changes based on the price. Demand is having increasing and decreasing based on the price. Price is going to be the main aspect here. So we can take one more example for the consumer's income. So that is for the price what we told. The second example we can take for the consumer's income. How we can, based on the consumer's income, how we decide the commodities are to be purchased. So that when the person's income, X person's income is going to be ₹100. So when your purchasing power is going to be only 100, what are you going to be purchasing and how much of quantity? We shall see. So when a person's income is ₹100, the price for rice is 10 kg. The consumer is ready to buy 10 kgs of rice because he's having 100 rupees. So now the same thing, you can see it in the consumer's income. From 100 rupees, it is increasing to 200 rupees. Your level of purchasing power will also have changes. The person who bought for 100 rupees, 10 kgs of rice, now he is ready to buy 20 kgs of rice for 200 rupees. So there again you have the changes in the income and the quantity of your demand. So the price of the commodity and the consumer's income has variation. So you can see here, as income increases, demand increases. So income is going to be increasing more and more, then the demand also increases. As income increases, the demand decreases. The income decreases, then the demand also decreases. This is having a direct relation. So what is that we can see here is, as a human, we have the tendency of spending more money on commodities, craze to buy everyday commodities or whatever comes new to the market. So when we are having enough of money, the income what we have is more in your hand, you tend to buy the commodities, whatever you see in the market, which gives you satisfaction. That is, realized satisfaction is different. But as soon as you see you have money, you want to spend. When you have less income in your hand, your attitude changes, your demand for the and desire to buy a commodity changes, it decreases. Because when you have money, you don't think of the other aspects, you want to spend, you have to enjoy. But at the same time, when there is no income in your hand, will you like to come out of the house also? There you have a question mark. So there you have a direct relation here. As the income increases, demand also increases. You have more money, more goods are at home. Less income, less goods are at home. So demand for any good has variation. It has a direct impact on the demand. So when the income of the consumer increases, the demand also increases. Income is less, demand also becomes less. So it has a direct effect.